We've got a massive week this week. We've just had the Prime Minister who's arrived on Monday, brand new Prime Minister, and all the security element that goes with that. And then we go rapidly from Monday into a search regime for what is going to be a really significant event for us, the South Wales Police. But it's a really fantastic event. These are the events that we really look forward to. It's that time to have the eyes and the ears of the world on South Wales Police, on the Senedd and everything that we do here.
We're welcoming the King and Queen to Cardiff. It's my role to coordinate the tactical response to that. So the protection element with colleagues in the Joint Firearms Unit, the search element with colleagues from the Specialist Operations Team, but also the public order and public safety risk, responding to any protest, but also keeping the crowd safe.
So I'm something called a counter-terrorism security coordinator. If you visualise the terrorist attacks that have happened over the years, particularly most recently, it is about reviewing and assessing events and considering their vulnerability to those types of attack. And the things that we've seen, you know, people using vehicles as weapons as an example, that type of thing. And about putting a plan in place proportionately with event organisers, partners, local authorities, our own specialist and non-specialist resources to minimise the risk of that happening at events.
Well, the planning happens weeks and months beforehand, where we first get notification of a visit, where we start working with our partners in Cardiff Council, in the Senedd themselves, Welsh Government, as well as the Royal Household, to try and understand the scale of the visit, how many people are coming, who are they, what the threats are to them, but also then to understand the threats to the wider community, whether that be a protest that may want to take place, whether that be increased numbers which may cause public safety risk in itself, and similarly the counter-terrorism threat to the event and wider city. All of these things are brought together weeks and months beforehand as we work towards the day itself.
Every event is different, every visit is different, every venue is different, depending on the time of year, depending on the people we have involved. Even the weather's a factor on occasion. So it's really important that we assess the information and intelligence relevant to each event and venue in order that we can put in place an effective and proportionate plan in response to any risks we identify. And we've got a strong and proud history of delivering these events really, really well. There's a significant amount of work that goes into the lead up, first in terms of planning, in terms of logistics, and some of the pre-security work that we would do in advance of our principals attending. So for example, we would proactively deploy search officers to certain venues, to search areas, to make sure that the areas in which the King and the Queen are going, we can be confident are safe. So in terms of the search itself, it contains obviously search officers, contains explosive detection dog teams. It will also include some specialist equipment. So we will deploy under vehicle search cameras as an example of some of the specialist equipment that you will see. And you will see officers opening all doors, rooms, looking in voids, you know, lifting carpets, you know, really conducting in-depth searches so that we can be as confident as we possibly can that people are safe. So we probably have got some specialist skills that other forces in Wales probably don't have or respectfully don't need, based on the fact that we have so many events coming to the capital city. We've got the seat of government here within Wales, within Cardiff. It's a privilege to have it. It's a wonderful facility. It draws in a lot of focus to the city, but it does throw up some considerations for us.
We've got a team working within the Senedd on a day-to-day basis that assist us in building relationships with those key stakeholders. On days like tomorrow, they really come into their own, where we can understand the individual needs of those attending and also cater for the security risk that may be posed to them. From a policing perspective, acknowledge that it might seem like overkill, but it's about welcoming the monarchy to Cardiff and preserving everybody's safety within that. For us, having that team in the Senedd assists us in assessing risk daily. When we look at Westminster and other devolved parliaments, people wouldn't bat an eyelid seeing police officers walking around on a day-to-day basis. Having the Senedd policing team there to cater for their needs, to maintain the safety of what is an iconic building and the centre of the Welsh Government is a really important part of policing for us.
The Senedd has been up and running now for 25 years. We've had a policing presence at the Senedd right from the inception. So the team has always been a number of 12. We now have 8 armed officers from the Joint Firearms Unit. There's myself as the inspector. I have a sergeant. I have a dedicated pulser. The pulser is a police search advisor, and I have a dedicated intelligence PC. The presence of armed police officers is what the majority of people see, but in reality, the majority of the work that goes on is in the background, which people will never see. My job is to make sure that when everyone comes here, is that the armed police officers, myself, that we engage We explain why we are here. We take the time and put people at ease. Yes, there are armed police officers here. We're only here just to protect what's going on.
Together we're there to cater for any eventuality really. We'll be able to stand up a significant multi-agency response if we need to in response to a major incident activation, but similarly the key part for us is having joint situational awareness. Success for me will look like children, visitors to Cardiff Bay, making memories, seeing the King and Queen for the first time and enjoying the event as it is, that our footprint will be low, go unnoticed in that regard, and that we're part of that memory in terms of smiling faces, taking photos and the like, as opposed to any threat or any criminality.